So how are you anyways, John?
We never
How's your
make
weekend
fun
going?
of people, Nick. We never do.
Only to their face.
That's true. We're kind that way.
We are kind that way. Kind-hearted gentlemen who only poke fun at people to their face and at their own expense.
We don't do it that often.
We do it fairly often. How's you didn't answer my question, though. How's your weekend going?
It's going fine. It's I am early into the weekend since I got in Friday night, and usually, you know me, when I fly home, it's usually either Thursday or early Friday morning, and not this time. It was last evening, and it is Labor Day weekend this weekend. So sorry, I'm dating.
Yes, it is.
I'm dating our recording here.
Who are you dating? Should be dating your wife.
Because we're doing this Saturday morning.
Very true. I couldn't imagine a more acceptable person to be around. More.
Wow. I don't know, but that delay that we just had there, that was well worth it. I can't think of a
Was it?
more...
Well, I'll cut that out. Let's just say more ... than spending time with me on a Saturday.
More
I mean,
interesting.
you. More interesting, more agreeable, more... I don't know. I can't think of any more.
Is called?
An ellipses?
Yes. Well, an ellipsis.
Oh, God. If you have more seriously, dude?
Them, it would be ellipses, yes.
If you had more, that's true, yes. But
see how interesting and fun I am now?
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
So, John, I have learned something about myself this weekend. After 40 years on this earth, almost 41 years on this earth. I told you, I sent you a text yesterday, and I told you I went to the doctor, and I found out that I have to have surgery.
Yes.
And that's not the first time I've been told I have to have surgery on something. I think I've mentioned before I have to have surgery on my foot. And I was getting to thinking yesterday, now that I actually have to have a surgery, it's not an elective, it's you have to go in and do this. I was trying to figure out why I was so nervous, because I've been put under before. So it's not being put under that bothers me. It's not being in the hospital that bothers me. I grew up in a hospital. What really bothers me after all of this contemplation, John, is I don't like it when people either have to take care of me or people that rely on me. I'm going to be disappointing because I have to spend probably anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks in bed after this to recover, depending on what they have to do.
I would stretch it to as close to 2 weeks as you possibly can.
You think so?
Pay the doctor money to make it 4 weeks.
I could. I really know. That would drive me absolutely nuts. And I think that's the part that bothers me the most. And I was thinking about it, and I came to that conclusion. It's because I don't want to rely on other people, and that's what makes me not do the things to take care of myself that I should be doing, like surgery, having surgery on my foot or having this surgery done. It's because I don't want my wife taking care of me. I don't want my boss to have to lose me for 2 weeks while I'm recovering. So isn't that crazy? That's like being a psychopath in my mind.
It's not really crazy, in as much as you may indeed be a psychopath, but not in this particular instance.
So how so, John? Well, enlighten me.
I was hoping you would ask.
So of course I'm going to ask. Why do you think I brought this up? I want to see how many rabbit holes we can take this down.
We're getting really serious early on here, but and if you've listened to the earlier podcasts, you know that I had a bout with cancer, and it was for almost 6.5 months I was out of work, and just took time off, and it was fine. I wasn't necessarily debilitated, but going through chemo and all of that. So one thing that happened during that time is I had to, because I was sick, I had to let people serve me. And like you, that's very difficult for me. However, the good part is, as I've got seriously people from our church over at my house cleaning the gutters, more on that later, and power washing the house and stuff that I would normally do. I'm watching these people do it for me.
So
And
before you go on though, is cleaning
yeah.
the gutters and power washing a euphemism for something?
Wow. Well, not in this particular conversation, but
That comes later, right? Comes
but
more
it
towards
will.
the end when we're not so
Yes.
serious.
Yes.
I apologize.
Here's my
Please
point
carry on.
in my long roundabout way is that it's really it does a couple of things. First of all, it makes you appreciate that others really do love and care for you, but just how the people are, and it helps you appreciate the goodness in people, and it really does. Oddly enough, it makes them feel good about it as well. So you don't want to deny people that opportunity.
So what you're saying is you want to walk a mile in everyone's shoes.
Yes, embrace
That way you're a mile away and you're wearing their shoes.
exactly. Dude, I've got a
Right.
crazy dog and a doorbell ringing. Could you excuse me just for a moment? We'll have to edit
For a
this out.
moment.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's all right.
Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Did you live through all of that? Oh my gosh.
I didn't hear a word.
Okay.
My neighbor started mowing their lawn though.
Yours did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't think you can hear it though.
I can't.
I think the microphone is good enough. It's good enough.
It
It's
is
strong
good
enough.
enough.
And gosh darn it, people like it.
Nice. So that was, and I'll just tell you real quickly what you can cut it out if you want. Just a friend of mine in Wisconsin, they have something that we call drop-ins, and people just knock on your door and, hey, what's up? I was in the neighborhood, and it's a drop.
Well, it's nice that they knock though. In Minnesota, I don't know if they do it anymore. Obviously, I haven't lived there for over 20 years, but when I was growing up, no one knocked. They just walked in.
But how big was the town?
Oh, it was a small town.
Yeah.
Well, no, I take that back. Well, it really just depends. Granted, these are people that are very close. They're not like strangers. They're not. So
Sure.
when I was born until I was about 13 or 14, we lived in a smaller town, and all of my friends would just walk in. All my mom's friends would just walk in.
Sure.
When we moved to closer to the city, to a large, very large suburb, where I went from having the town that had 2,500 people in it to my high school that had 3,000 people in it. That's kind of the difference in the size of the place. We still had all of our neighbors just who were friends of ours, obviously, just walk in whenever.
Well,
They never really knocked.
So what's different now, like in Minneapolis, for example, is they still do that, but now they carry weapons.
Right. Yeah.
Which is awesome. But so drop-ins are not bad, especially in our small town. I mean, we have 5,500 people in our town, so it's appreciated and expected, except when we're doing a podcast.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's kind of like my neighbor who decided to mow their lawn at 8:00 in the morning. Well, I thought that was my first thought. It's 8:00 in the morning. Who is mowing their lawn? That's the reason we podcast so early. And then I realized, no, it's actually 9:00.
9
That's
o'clock.
more appropriate. Yeah.
Well,
Now that we're timing everything and dating everything so people know when we're recording our podcast.
Oh no.
Now I'm going to get a drop in.
You're going to get a drop in, and they're going to actually drop in with a riding lawnmower.
Right. Well, no, they're not. It's not a riding lawnmower. That would be nice and quiet. These are the really old push lawnmowers that are going uphill because we have very steep backyards.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I have a riding lawnmower that's not all that quiet. So
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. So anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, I think it's important to let people serve you. I think it's really
Let my minions serve me. Serve the king.
To help, yes, to be served, really. Not as the king, not wearing an ascot or anything like that. But I will say, you put the ass in ascot.
That's right, I do. Proud of it.
I want you to wear that T-shirt.
Well, speaking of, see, here's one of those fancy rabbit holes. I've been doing a lot of Pinterest lately, just when you're sitting doing absolutely nothing. And one of the things that has been coming up in my feed quite a bit, and obviously because I like them, it's going to just keep coming up more and more. And it's T-shirts with the sayings like that on it. and I think they're hilarious. Like one I saw today, roses are red, pizza sauce is too. There's a large on its way and none of it's for you.
Wow.
I don't know why I dug that so much. I just really, really like that.
I actually ordered pizza.
Or I'm so sarcastic, I don't even know if I'm kidding anymore or when I'm kidding anymore. Something like that.
That's actually pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have others?
I do, but not with me because I decided to leave my phone away from the podcast today.
Why on earth would you do that?
Because I wanted to spend more time talking to you and not relying on Siri for a whole bunch of things.
I'm surprised by that.
I know. I am too. Actually, I just forgot my phone. That's really the reason.
I knew it.
At least I can admit it, right?
I guess you can. That's because we're so close.
That's exactly it. No, not at all. Not at all. But the nice thing is I have my computer in front of me, so I'm going to try to log in if I can remember what my login is, so I can tell you some of these other T-shirts. I think it worked.
Okay.
I think it worked. But it's not showing me any funny T-shirts. So anyway, go on with what you were saying, and
no, I'm done. I made my point. But I think I mean we all want you to get well, and so when people say, "Is there anything I can do to help?"
You don't. See, there you go, lying again.
Well, I've actually been.
You want me to die on the table so you can take over the podcast?
I have been looking for a way to turn this into a one-man show.
Yeah, I knew it.
I was hoping the show would be you, so I could listen.
Okay, here's one. I was taught to think before I act. So if I smack the shit out of you, rest assured, I've thought about it and I'm confident in my decision.
Wow, that one's a little bit. If they're reading the end of that one, they have way too much time on their hands.
My favorite plans are called canceled plans.
Wow. Okay, here's one for you. Hedgehogs. Why don't they just share the hedge?
I like that one. Lazy is a very strong word. I prefer to call it selective participation. We're going to have to start posting some of those on our Instagram accounts. I think those would be fun.
Oh,
or we open up a Pinterest account and just put nothing but T-shirts on there.
No, I can't.
Including PoddiMouths T-shirts. By the way,
T-shirts. We have polo shirts.
We have polo shirts, and Jennifer has one now, and she loves it.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's
now
awesome.
I just got to get her to wear it.
And Bill, our friend Bill, posted his picture with his PoddiMouths.
He did. He did.
Looked great.
I think it looks fantastic.
It does. He could be a PoddiMouths polo shirt model.
He could be.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the picture we'll use when we start selling them. I'm 25% funny and 85% bad at math.
Grammar police to serve and correct.
Nice. I like that one. I'm going to get that one for you.
Okay.
Nerd? Question mark. I prefer the term more intelligent than you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be your T-shirt for sure.
Yep. Surely not everyone was kung fu fighting.
A picture of Galileo with his telescope, and it's labeled "Thunderbolt and Lightning, very, very frightening me."
That one's good. I like that. Here's one that has really big words on it. It says, "Do not read the next sentence, period." And then in very small words under it, "You little rebel." I like you.
Nice.
So anyway, back to, wait, this one might be funny. Hold on.
Oh yeah, back to unless I find a better one.
Right. Oh, it got smaller. Okay.
Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to read that one. That one was a little off.
Go outside.
Off
the
color.
Graphics are amazing. Shows a guy walking in the mountains.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Row, row, row your boat gently off a cliff.
That's a T-shirt.
Yeah, so that's a T-shirt. So you can see where my sense of humor has gone lately. Anyway, back to what we were talking about earlier. It's still very difficult for me to accept help, but I know I have to, and I just have to get over it. But it's not even the accepting help at home necessarily. It's more that there are people out there that rely on me, and I won't be able to actually do anything, and that
Well,
drives me more nuts. So since we technically work at home, I will figure things out. So I will still be working. I just won't be able to get in the car and drive for a while.
that's actually not a bad.
I think that's the biggest part that
especially
bothers
the way
me.
you drive.
I know, right?
One more T-shirt. Dear Algebra, stop asking us to find your ex. She's not coming back.
Yes, I saw that one. I love that one too.
And I hate algebra.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too.
Okay, I have to get off this T-shirt.
Oh, I go down. It's amazing what.
There are some creative minds out there. Oh, you found
bad puns are how I roll. I spelled EYE.
I roll, nice. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. How I roll. Stop it! You're still looking.
Yeah,
cut it out.
I am. I'm sorry. I'm still looking. There are so many.
We go down rabbit.
Oh my goodness!
While we're doing this.
Yeah, well, it would be better if we had video going so people could see what we're doing. I'm gonna start looking at my waveform again. So that's how I stay focused, is looking at the waveform. At least that's what I like to tell myself.
And you believe yourself?
Not really. No, I've never believed myself, because a lot of times I lie to myself. That's why I need that sarcasm T-shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you being sarcastic?
I never know when to believe myself. I am being sarcastic. Not really.
I know,
but I am, but I'm not.
Sorry. Hey, so have you ever? Let's get really serious now. I'm just kidding, but
again,
serious. How about?
Okay, I'm ready for serious.
How about phone scams? Have you ever received one? I won't say fallen prey, because you are cynical enough to not fall prey to anything like that.
Well, we've talked about that before. So one thing that I don't do, and it probably pisses people off, but I honestly don't care. I don't answer the phone if I don't know the number. So if you're not in my phone, or I'm not expecting a call from anyone, I won't pick it up.
I don't either. I feel the same way. And if it's someone that I just don't recognize the number and it's something important, what will they do then, Nick?
If they'll either text you or they'll leave a message.
Correct.
And even so even if
people will hate you because they can't get through to you.
Right. And then very rarely, honestly, and this might be even worse, even if I do know the number, let's say you called me, you're a little bit different story, because I will call you back if you call me. There are a couple people that I will, but most of the time, if someone calls me and they don't leave a message or they don't text me, what they needed to say probably wasn't important enough for me to call them back.
That's a really good point. And I'm kind of in that camp as well. I guess if I'm bored or have absolutely nothing going on, I will call. I mean, if it's my brother or somebody like that who didn't leave a message or text me, or my wife, I may call them.
Right.
That's
right. Exactly.
But
if it wasn't important enough for you not to leave a message or try to reach out another way, then it's probably not. Now, again, just as you said, if I'm bored or something like that, then I quite possibly might call someone back. But usually I'm busy enough. If I was busy enough not to answer the phone in the first place, then I probably won't call them back unless they need me for something.
Unless they're, and I never feel guilty about it unless when I call back, they're hanging from one remaining finger on a cliff or something like that. Because
right, but don't you think if they were doing that, they'd leave a message?
I would think so. I sure would.
I would hope so.
Quick message, but
either that or we're just colossal pricks.
Well, now. There's a possibility.
There's a pause there. There's definitely a pause. I'm interested to know what that pause meant, John.
It meant I need to make that T-shirt. We're colossal pricks.
Yeah, or it's either that or we're colossal pricks. I think that's how it should say.
Either that or. Got it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to have something that is that.
True.
Yeah.
I love, speaking of, there is one T-shirt, and I'm not looking at it, but I remember it, that I absolutely love.
I'm not looking.
Sorry I'm late. I didn't want to come.
Say it again. Sorry.
Said, sorry I'm late. I didn't want to come.
Wow.
That one. I love that one.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I must admit. I think, okay, so I need the grammar police one.
Yes, you do. Now, okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about this. So I have a very unique style. We've talked about that before. I envision myself looking a lot different than I actually look. So my wife gets mad at me when I try to dress this way because it just doesn't look right on me. I will be the first to admit that it really not the style in my head, the what I want to dress like does not look good on me. And the way I
But
like to dress, I like to always wear tennis shoes or flip-flops. We've
yeah.
talked about that before.
Yep.
Jeans or khakis, relaxed khakis, not like suit pants or khakis.
Right.
A t-shirt and a sport coat. All my t-shirts, I want to have funny sayings on them or some graphic. My wife absolutely hates that. And I really, honestly, I don't look good in it. I'm not skinny enough or I just don't have the build to pull that look off. But that's how I kind of envision myself. And that's probably why I'm drawn to all these t-shirts, because I want to own all these t-shirts and wear them on a daily basis like that. Obviously, we can't for our jobs because we have to dress a little bit more appropriately.
It would
But
be hilarious to have a grammar police with a sport coat over the top of it when we go into a
and walk into a dealer. Yeah, I think that the next time we're together and we're doing that, we'll both do it.
Get a fight at once.
Actually, I won't wear the grammar police or anything like that. I'll probably put a PoddiMouths shirt on.
That
Get a PoddiMouths t-shirt.
I think you could pull. Nah, but then that gets us in trouble at work, so we can't.
That's true. That's true.
I find that I'm very protective of both sides of that coin. That somebody talks about the podcast. I really don't say too much at work. Because as you know, as we have been delighted in, several of the people that listen consistently, we work with, and we're delighted by that. But I don't want to mix the two just because I want to be beyond anyone thinking that we try to.
So are you saying you're bigger than this podcast, John?
I'm fatter than this podcast. Yes.
I don't know. It's pretty fat. PHAT fat.
Yes, I knew what you did. Because you and I have such a hip vernacular.
That's right. That's right. But you are the grammar police because I screw up my vernacular quite vernaculariously.
Isn't that what you're having surgery on, your hip vernacular?
Something like that, yeah. Yep. And it's all because I lost weight.
And you never should have done that.
No, well, my ego started shrinking a little. You weren't there to support me, so I lost a lot of weight.
Did you
my
lose
head
weight
shrunk.
in your ego?
Well, the ego went down, so therefore my head got smaller.
Why don't
my head was getting pretty big?
Let's do that T-shirt, the ego diet.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And we'd have to think about.
I'm writing that down right now. Ego. How do you spell ego?
EGO. Stop it.
I'm just kidding.
You're testing me. The ego. What's the number for 911?
Oh, I've seen that on a t-shirt before. I love that too.
Yes, that's awesome.
I have a t-shirt that I wear every year. I've had it for now probably 10 or 15 years. It's black and in orange writing. It says, "This is my costume." And I usually wear that on Halloween.
Nice. Of course you do.
Yep.
My son has a great t-shirt. It shows a guitar and it says, "It doesn't get Eddie Vedder than this."
Nice. That's really good. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Pretty sweet.
Oh my goodness! Back on t-shirts. I think we really we really need to start telling. Let me try that all over again.
I just got spit in my ear.
You did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is it wet? It was kind of juicy.
Not anymore.
Oh, good. So 23andMe can tell you if you naturally are prone to having wet earwax or dry earwax.
Well.
And 23andMe is not a sponsor.
No, they're not.
Yet.
They should be.
They should be. They sponsor a lot of podcasts. Why don't they sponsor our podcast?
Because we're stupid.
That's true.
We're just doing research for you, 23andMe. Don't do ours because we're stupid.
That's stupid. Yeah. If I do a 23andMe, they'll probably say you need more surgery.
I did do a 23andMe a couple years ago.
Did you?
And
Okay. And
I have a propensity to have a ring finger that's longer than my index finger.
okay, strange that you should say that. Before we got on the podcast, I was pinning, I was Pinteresting, and there was a thing on there that said, learn what the different finger sizes mean on your hand and what that attributes to your health. I thought that was crazy. And I looked, I didn't fall prey to that. So I didn't look at it. I didn't pick up the phone, if you will. But one of the things that it was talking about was some people have a ring finger that's shorter than their index and some people don't.
Right.
I am the same as you. My ring finger is bigger than my index finger.
Yeah. Mine is substantially bigger, longer.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Much, much, much longer.
Yeah.
And my pinky is my pinky is almost as big as my index finger.
Mine's close, but I've actually been working out my index finger a little bit to try to make it longer and more masculine.
You just have your son pull it more often.
And happily,
you know where I was
him,
going with that, right?
Live in the house anymore. Come on over here, Daddy. Now I can use his daughter and do the grandpa thing.
There you go. They're much better at it anyways.
Yes, for sure. So the phone scam thing, you know how to avoid. And a friend of mine, and she's a really close friend, and she has and I don't think I'm saying anything she wouldn't want to know, but she gets anxious about certain things. And she had a whole bunch of things going on in her life. I won't go into detail, but then she got a call and didn't recognize the number. And she said, normally I don't answer them, but I did. And there's somebody on the other line talking to her about her Social Security issues and blah, 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 how they think that her identity may have been compromised. And it was just she didn't do anything that she shouldn't have, giving out any information. But these scams are alive and well, and they will target you anyway you allow them to. And whether it's, you just have to identify the last four of your social and let's see if it's affected. And, that starts the ball rolling. And at some point she said, you know what, I really need to talk to my husband about this, or, just get somebody else to listen in on this because I'm having a rough day or whatever. And they go, oh, you don't need any third parties for this. This is, and obviously that's your big red flag. But
oh yeah, big red flag. So my father-in-law actually has picked up the phone several times. It doesn't give away any information, but he does the reverse. He'll actually talk to them.
Yes.
And then start to kind of prod at them and then get them so pissed off that they'll hang up on him. Then he keeps calling them back. And whoever answers the phone, he'll just talk to him again for another hour and just get him. So there's a point where at one point, and I was there when he did it once, he actually got that person to tell him, do not call this number back ever again, and hung up on him again. I think that's genius. And granted, he has the time to do that. I don't have the time. I was
just going to say, if you have time on your hands, that's fine.
I will. Yeah. I will. When I have the surgery done, I'll be in my bed for a while. I'll just start calling random robocallers back and make fun of them, get them all pissed off.
There is a YouTube channel entitled Scammer Revolts.
Okay. I'm going to look that up.
And it's quite interesting because it's a guy who uses he works in reverse on these scammers that try to remotely access his computer and make changes. So the long and short of it is he allows them to remotely access his virtual computer, and and while they're doing it, he deletes files off theirs.
Oh wow.
It's the coolest.
So he's a hacker himself, just a very good hacker.
Yes, exactly. One call, and he's pretending to be stupid and not entering what they're asking him to. And hold on, my bad. And he's trying to re-enter, all the while deleting files. One of the calls, he deleted 286,000 files on the scammer's computer.
Oh wow! So he's a hero.
Well, in a sense, he's got, I don't know, 400,000 followers on YouTube, which is for subscribers, which is awesome. But
That's great.
anyway, worth your time to check it out. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up. That sounds like that. Yeah, that's my kind of thing.
I knew it would.
I like it when you stick it to the man or scammers.
I don't think the scammers are the man.
They're not really.
Scammers
I just couldn't think of another way. Just stick it back to bad people.
Stick it to the scammers.
Yep.
That's another T-shirt right there.
I love it.
We can think of T-shirts. I think this is going to be the T-shirt podcast. I kind of like this.
Okay. Well, it's another avenue for business.
Well, and I had visions of that years ago. My sister-in-law used to live in a town near us, and every year they would have a festival in this town, as they usually do in the Midwest. You know that.
I love the Midwest festivals.
Yeah, and they are fun. And this one, wasn't huge. It was just a weekend event, but the name was beautiful. They called it the Wiener and Kraut Festival.
I know of that festival.
Do you really?
I do. I've never been, but I've heard of it before.
And maybe other towns do it as well, but this is the little town of Waterloo, Wisconsin, which...
Nope, it's Waterloo. I know that. Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
So one year, my sister-in-law was in charge of announcing events as they went on, and it was kind of almost like a play-by-play for a little while down in the town square. And she kind of sillily, I was going to say stupidly, but she wasn't stupid. She asked me to do it with her in the booth where we would be announcing events and bands and what was going on next. And I said, what we should do? We should design some T-shirts for the Wiener and Kraut Festival. And so I actually custom made some. One was Kraut Don't Fear the Wiener. Another one was Wiener Envy. And I'll have to remember some of the other ones. I'm actually just thinking about it off the top of my head, or I would have made some notes. But I'm with Wiener, I'm with Kraut, something like that. But it was.
I love it. I love it. I like that. Kraut Don't Fear the Wiener. I love that.
Yeah.
There have been so many remakes of that song, and I wouldn't say it's my favorite song, but it's up there. It's in the top 5 or 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
for those who don't know what we're talking about, it's Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, my favorite rendition.
Who was the original artist?
Oh, come on. Don't Fear the Reaper was, I know this. I should know this. I know that they redid it on Saturday Night Live. You've seen that version.
No, I haven't.
Sure.
I haven't seen that one. My favorite version comes from Scream #1. The Screams franchise redid it like 2 or 3 times in different fashions with different artists. But my very favorite is Scream 1. Okay,
so you need to go to just do a search on Google, Saturday Night Live, Don't Fear the Reaper. It's a classic skit that they did with Will Ferrell, Christopher Walken, and it's where the whole more cowbell thing came from.
Okay.
I can't believe you don't know this.
I may.
You need to do it right now then. Let's just broaden.
I am. More cowbell. Is that the one?
Sure.
It's the first one that came up when I did it.
I'm just... Blue Oyster Cult. I should have known that.
Are they one? Okay, that I have that version.
That was a studio,
but I didn't know they were the original.
Other versions, Wilco.
I've heard the Wilco one.
Okay, let's see. Other recordings of this song. I didn't. The Mutton Birds. Beautiful Southland.
You guys can't hear it because I'm playing through. It's playing through my headphones. But I'll watch it later because I don't want to take because it's 5.5 minutes long. So
yeah, but you got to see it because it is worth it. Yeah, it was Blue
and I love me some Walken. So
the original, Christopher Walken was priceless in that. So we're going to make you do a report on that. I need you to do a YouTube report out on the next podcast.
Next podcast I will do.
Yeah,
I'll probably forget by then.
Me
I mean,
too.
that's a whole week away.
Me too, which is great. I mean, I would have been the perfect teacher. I assign a book report and then forget about it.
Yep. Yep. I was a teacher. I did that all the time.
Did you? Hey, tomorrow morning we're going to have a pop quiz, so you better come to class remembering and ready to go. Yeah.
Pop quiz,
Hey,
hot shot.
pop quiz, hot shot. Nice. I would forget.
What movie is that from?
Oh, come on. Now you're testing me. Pop quiz, hot shot. Give me a hint.
Keanu Reeves.
Well, it's not John. What's his name? Pop quiz, hot shot. Oh, I know. It was from. The Speed.
Yes.
And it was
I
Dennis
think
Hopper.
it was from Speed. I'm pretty sure.
Dennis Hopper.
It was 90. Speed. Yes, it was Dennis Hopper. Yeah. We haven't talked about movies much lately.
No,
that was kind of an ongoing theme, now. Or did people just get sick of it and that's why we stopped? I don't know.
We're morphing to t-shirts now.
Morphing to t-shirts.
Yeah.
I do have some really good movie t-shirts though. I've got my Goonies t-shirt. I've got a Ghostbusters t-shirt. And we're getting close to the release of the new, well, not the release of the new Ghostbusters, but they're showing a lot of filming behind the scenes. Anytime Ecto 1 pops up, people are taking pictures. And the last one I saw was someone on Instagram saying, I saw Ecto 1 from my mailbox. And it was somewhere out in the country in Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was a picture of Ecto 1 on the film set off in the distance. It was pretty cool, actually.
So what's the short version of what they're going to do and who's going to be in it and all that? I'm not familiar.
Well, all the original actors, obviously, except for Egon, because he's dead.
He is dead.
All of the original actors are back in some capacity. I'm not sure exactly what.
Well,
they're really hush-hush about the plot. But one of the kids from Stranger Things, and he was also in It. He's going to be in it, as well as there's a kid that we see a lot of. She does very minor roles. She was in Captain Marvel as the young Carol Danvers. She is in it as well. And then a couple other kids that I know, but I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But they're famous-ish kids.
Famous kids. And you said there's the kid that was in It, and he's going to be in It.
Talking about the new It, by the way.
He already was.
Not the old one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The original.
He was in It. Right.
A long time ago.
Yes. It was a long time ago. Who was the actor in the original It?
I've never watched It.
You've never seen It?
No.
Oh.
Nor have I seen the Goonies.
Oh, I can't be your friend anymore.
I know. Well, no. Actually, I've been looking for a way to make that happen.
Well, you've just now done it. Wow.
I didn't know it would be this easy.
That is like my number one favorite movie.
Come on.
It is. It is.
Goonies?
Yep. Don't ask me why. I couldn't tell you, but I love the Goonies.
Well, why can you not tell me if it's your number one favorite?
It just is my number one favorite. That's all I can say. There's no one reason why that is my favorite movie. I think it's probably the first one I remember.
1985. Well, but yeah, it's the first one you were drinking at, right?
Right. Yeah. I was drinking something.
I remember it.
So, yeah. Anyway, I will give you a hint. I will name a character in a movie I know you've seen because it's probably your favorite.
Okay.
And you'll be able to tell me who it was. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, the original. That's got to be your favorite. That just seems right down your alley.
That's right up my alley. Rocky Horror Picture Show. I will say I've been to that because they used to do it when I was going to college.
Oh, have you? Yeah, they used to do it when I was going to college too. I never dressed up though.
There were a lot of people that did in Madison, Wisconsin, as you might, and several of them still.
Oh yeah, a lot of people did in St. Louis too. I just never did. I never dressed up.
Time warp. Yeah, I can tell you that.
Yeah, let's do the time warp again. I'm never going to sing again ever.
Let's see.
Did it?
Barry Bostwick.
Nope.
And Susan Sarandon.
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
Tim Curry.
How would I know Tim Curry? I put him on my indie food.
Do you not know Tim Curry? You know
What?
Tim. You've got to know Tim Curry. Tim Curry played the lead role in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was Dr. Frankenfurter. He was Dr. Petrov in The Hunt for Red October. He
What?
was Wadsworth in Clue. What else was he in? He was in the Home Alone
Okay.
2 in New York. He was the not the butler, the concierge person.
He was in the original?
He was in the original It. He played Pennywise in the original It.
So he's British.
Yes.
British. Rocky
British.
Horror Picture Show. Let's do the
Phineas
time.
and Ferb. You're a Phineas and Ferb fan, aren't you?
Oh, have they done it again? 2016, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
They did. Yes.
But he was in the original as well.
He was also in a movie. He was in Tom Cruise's first movie, was it Tom Cruise's first movie? Hold on. I was listening to something at one point and they had mentioned Tom Cruise's first movie. And I'm like, that was not Tom Cruise's first movie. It was in 1980. Oh, he was in Annie in 1982. He was the brother, Rooster.
Okay.
Legend.
Okay.
He was the devil character in Legend.
Okay.
Did you ever see Legend?
I don't know if I did or not. Legend was that.
Oh, that's a great old movie. 1985, Tom Cruise. I'm going to see if that was his first movie, though.
85? I think he was in like a high school football one before that.
Okay, yeah. Endless Love. So they said that they said The Outsiders was Tom Cruise's first movie. And I knew that was incorrect. But I thought Legend was his first movie, and I was incorrect about that. His first movie was Endless Love, then Taps, then The Outsiders.
Okay. Well, there's a piece of beauty that I didn't know about. I'm not sure.
That's film history right there.
And then if you look on IMDb for
oh, come on.
Tom Cruise, no, it's just am I? That's all it is.
Yes. And I actually watched the most recent Mission Impossible the night before last. I don't remember. Recently. It was very recent. It was probably out of all the MIs, it was one of my favorites.
Okay. So I find that I have my favorite, not only my favorite actors in action. I really like action movies, and it's not consistent. I mean, it comes and goes, and I'll watch comedies and I'll watch dramas and blah blah blah. But if I need mindless entertainment, it's usually the action movies. So I just bought a couple of the Bourne movies.
Yeah, I have all the Bourne movies for that exact same reason.
It's just they're awesome to watch, and they move quickly. And I'm not a huge fan of what's his name,
because of not Affleck, his buddy Matt Damon.
Yeah, Damon.
No, I agree with you. I like action movies just to kind of fill the background because you don't have to pay attention. There aren't that many plot twists, you don't have to.
Depends.
There aren't nuances.
It depends on the movie, and certainly that's true of the Bourne series. But I like a lot of the movies lately. It seems like that. My mind is just not where it should be.
It's Saturday morning.
Maybe
how many cups of coffee have you had?
Not enough. I'm still working on one. Happily.
There you go.
I
like while you're thinking about it, I like John Wick. Keanu Reeves' new action series.
Oh my gosh! So there's my phone. It suddenly starts playing the movie after I click on it to get more information. John Wick is a little over the top, even for me.
Really?
It's just I don't know. Let me see what's going to happen in the John Wick movie. Bang, 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 bang. He just took out 48 people.
That's why I like it. It's that mindless entertainment that you don't. Someone in the first movie killed his dog, and that's why he's going on this rampage.
Yeah,
it's basically the plot.
It's true.
Spoiler alert. I think we're supposed to do spoiler alerts beforehand, aren't we?
Be so mad at you.
Yeah, I know.
But there's a total difference between a Bourne series movie and John Wick.
Sure.
It's just it doesn't do the same. At least it's a little.
No, but you actually have to think about a Bourne movie a little bit more than a John Wick movie.
A little bit, and
hence my point. Another good action series that I play in the background, and it has to be the new ones because the old ones didn't. They had action, but they didn't have enough action. They were more character driven. The new Star Trek movies.
Okay.
The three that are out, that's mindless action entertainment.
Okay. Mindless is not necessarily the point of entry for me, but action and not having to think too hard. But Mark Wahlberg is one of my favorite action actors because he's kind of believable, and I just like his Deepwater Horizon, really good movie.
Yeah.
And I watched it several times. One that I have on my phone that if I he needs something to entertain me, then that's going to be the one. But Patriots Day too. Have you seen him in that?
I think so.
About the Boston bombing?
Nope, I have not seen that one yet. It's on my list.
Well, yeah, it's a good one.
I like Mark Wahlberg. I do think he makes a good action. He's also, I think, a decent actor as well.
He's a really good actor.
But you know that
I'm very impressed.
The best part is the stuff he makes behind the scenes is actually a lot more popular and entertaining than some of the stuff he does on screen. I'm not holding that against him. I think he is a good actor, and I think he does pick some really good stuff. But the shows he makes behind the scenes are really, really popular, really, really good. Like, did you ever watch Entourage on HBO?
Yeah,
and the movie Entourage? That's his life.
Yeah,
he developed that to kind of mirror what he went through coming up in Hollywood. So, and I don't know if you know, he's the executive producer of Ballers on HBO.
I haven't seen Ballers. I've heard good things about it, and I know a little bit about it.
It's very entertaining. Yeah. It's very entertaining.
Okay.
I we've talked about this before. I like The Rock.
I do.
I like Dwayne Johnson.
Yep, me too.
And I think he excels in his role in Ballers. I highly recommend that show if you have HBO.
I do. Yes. Well, I mean, I have it through Prime.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's good. Well, I will do that. And you just reminded me. I've watched Entourage many, many times, but I haven't recently. So I should get back into that because I do enjoy that show.
That's a good show. I binged that one. I watched the first season. I'm like, and then I just started watching the second season, and I didn't stop until I watched the whole series and then the movie.
Well, it sounds like you have a plan for post-surgery now.
Not anymore. I've already watched it all. I can't watch it again.
Well, you can. There are others.
There are. I've got a long list of shows I haven't watched yet.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's what you can do, and I'm sure I'm doing you a big favor with Jennifer right now.
Absolutely. Well, maybe I'll watch the entire series of Downton Abbey again too. Did you ever get into Downton Abbey?
I did not. I've heard wonderful things about it and how many people have really enjoyed it, but I have not.
It's different. It's very, very different. And I wouldn't have expected to like something like it, but I actually loved it. I've watched it twice now, the entire series, and the movie comes out next month.
Did you watch Ozark?
I did. I love Ozark. Ozark is great. And that is Jason Bateman. He developed that show. I think he directed most of the episodes, if not all of them.
He did, in a dramatic role for one of the first times, and very believable. Very believable.
Yep. He's another one I think can do no wrong.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things, that's for sure. Funny, and even things as silly as Horrible Bosses. He was really good.
He really was. And after he kind of shook off that child actor persona, he's just a very good straight man. He's so funny, just being such that I don't know, not over the top. He's very subtle in everything he does.
Ozark, it's really I kind of kept waiting for that, at least the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, because it's almost like his personality, and he's just not doing the punchline. And I think that's what draws you in so much.
It was cool. Have you heard about Yellowstone?
I saw something on IMDb the other day that popped up, it was IMDb. I haven't seen anything about it. I know nothing about it. So what is that about?
I do not know either. I have not watched it. I just wondered if you had. I have heard a couple people talking about it, and I have not yet endeavored. It's on the Paramount network, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Which obviously is massive. Because you see, I mean, it's amazing how these networks are all piggybacked these days. ESPN is one of the more popular ones. Not that I'm a fan, because I'm really not. Um, but they will package on cable systems and DirecTV and Dish and so on, not just ESPN. Well, I want ESPN. Well, if you take ESPN, you're also going to get Bravo. You're also going to get two or three others that they put in this package, and so they kind of piggyback success wise one off the other, and probably share in the profits to a degree as well.
Probably, most likely. I think even
Yeah.
in a different direction, I think it's fascinating because you mentioned Paramount and
Yep.
the licensing, what they do with other studios is really interesting to me. So going back to the Star Trek movies,
Yeah.
so I think it's Paramount. Paramount owns the right to the Star Trek franchise, but they licensed the story for the newest Star Trek movies to, I think, Sony. And Sony made the movies, but they had to make various changes, which is why they went to an alternate timeline, or they changed the timeline in the new movies, was to satisfy the quote unquote amount of change that they had to put into the new movies to be able to use the licensing from Paramount. Yeah. It's all fascinating. So a lot of the choices, things that the fans didn't like about the new ones,
Yeah.
it was a licensing issue, not because the studio wanted to change the way the program went. So, yeah, it's so weird how that business
especially
works.
these days with all the digital capacities and everything. It's we were watching our granddaughter one day last week at my son's house, and they have I don't know 150 DVDs. Probably we do as well. I just haven't dragged any of them out for over a year, I'm sure. And one of her favorite movies is Frozen. So we pull out Frozen and we're, playing it on his Xbox player.
Nice.
Because I'm going, you know what? A DVD player you could probably get for $20. Just whatever. We're playing that.
Yeah, if you need one, I've got two of them sitting down in my storage room collecting dust. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's really the case. But when you have, especially with a kid, I guess, you play the movies over and over and over again, and it's more of a tactile thing probably. But because it's a tactile thing, she has scratches and fingerprints and everything. Probably footprints all over these DVDs. So they play horrendously.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I actually bought a DVD. I digitize I have a couple of boxes full of them because I had several hundred DVDs at one point because I've been collecting them since college.
Right.
And I started digitizing them all. And I got to a point where I probably did 100 movies. I digitized 100 movies, but they didn't. You have to do something funky to be able to watch them on the TV through the Apple TV. So I'm just like, screw it. It's taking more time. I'm just going to buy them all again.
Right.
And I think that's what the companies want you to do because it's not easy to digitize DVDs.
No, and once you buy them, and see, this is the part that's really not squared away. And that is once you buy them, I just canceled Amazon Music last night because they made me mad. I'm on my phone. I have the app, and me, as much as I fly, I put my phone in airplane mode when we take off, and haven't, for whatever reason, haven't paid for Wi-Fi. Not that I should have to anyway, but if my phone doesn't download the files, the songs, I can't listen to anything while I'm flying.
Right.
And
yep.
So, what if I bought the DVD or the CD of a song? I can listen to it anytime. Why can't I download it? And the problem is they say, well, your download is expired.
Oh, really?
Well, wait a second. I've got unlimited music for my entire family, and I'm paying $15 a month for that. Then, well, your download expired. And okay, you know what? I'm out. So,
yeah. Wow. I've never had that download expired thing. I think the only time my downloads have ever expired is when I cancel. I use iTunes Music though, and that's what we pay for, family.
Yep.
So we can choose whether we can stream them like you're talking about, or we can download them if we're on an airplane or something, which I've done, but I don't do it very often because that just takes up space on the phone. I actually like being able to pay for a a less expensive device, so I don't have to have as much space because everything's in the cloud anyways.
So you have cloud storage. Sure, I understand. And well, and I've got a SIM card, and I'm able to or an SD card, and so I'm able to store more. It's huge, so I've got several movies stored, and I like to watch sitcom shows episodes while I'm flying as well. It burns time, and it's I could certainly do some work, pull out the laptop, but that on a short flight, that's
yeah, the short flights are what get you, because I'm the same way. I could read an entire book, but only if I'm on a long flight. That's the only time I ever pull out a book. Otherwise, the short flights, it's like read the magazine, watch a show. Okay, we're there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And so anyway, it's just frustrating sometimes and that's the whole digital environment though. If it's the same as actual ownership, then that's fine. But if I constantly have to have a connection to Wi-Fi in order to listen to a song, well, that those vary in quality, and so I'd like it.
They do now, but you could look at it both ways. So yeah, that ticks you off that you can't download, or that you don't have it downloaded, or your download expired. But in this day and age, you're absolutely right. Why should we have to pay for Wi-Fi? Why is it Madison is a good example. Isn't Madison a city where you have public Wi-Fi free all over the city?
I don't know. I know they talked about it for a while. I know it's free at the airport, like many airports are these days.
Right.
But I'm not sure about the city. It was one of the cities talking about it. So was Minneapolis.
Well, I know they had it, and this was back in the early or the late 2000s, before the 2010s. Maybe it was in the 10s. No, it was before that, because that was the last time I was in Madison. I used to drive through, and I would just pop open my laptop, and I'd have Wi-Fi as I drove through. Sweet. So it was there. I just didn't know if they still did it.
Yeah, I do not know. I can't answer.
Yeah, but there are, you're right. There are cities that have it, and it's just, why can't we have it on the airplane? What does it cost them extra to do on the airplane? For us, it's just it's a profit center for them. I understand,
but that's just it. The issue isn't what does it cost them. The issue is what does it cost them not to charge for it.
Right, exactly, because they can't charge for anything else anymore.
Yeah, right. They still,
or what they could do is kind of like some hotels have gone to now. Most hotels now are free Wi-Fi for everybody, but for a long time it was you got free Wi-Fi if you had status.
That's true.
They could go to something like that. That would be nice.
It really would be nice, and and I think it would make more sense for them to do that, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. It's one of those things. I think we should all have access to, especially with 5G coming. We should all have access to it, easy access, so we don't ever have to worry about that ever again.
Totally agree.
But it's funny that we're complaining about it, because what happened 20 years ago when cell phones weren't even, or devices like that weren't even really in the lexicon of our existence.
It's just amazing how much stuff has changed. But it's cool. You have to embrace it. You can't push back against it. But I'm also not going to be happy if I need to have it utile so I can use it myself the way I use the technology. Otherwise, they need to go back to the drawing board as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Or we just need to get in there and tell them how to do it. Let's start a campaign on our social media networks. So, let's go up to Twitter, where our handle is what, John?
Our handle on Twitter is Mouths Poddy.
That's right. It is Mouths Poddy, or at PoddiMouths on Instagram, or Eat Drink Road. That's eat.drink.road on Instagram, or PoddiMouths on Facebook. You go up there, leave a comment. Let's start to really get under the skin of some of these tech companies and tell them what we really want. I know that will never happen, but hey, we can dream. Right, John?
That was really a smooth transition.
Thank you. That's what I'm good at. I'm only good at this part of the podcast. The rest of it, it's all shit. But
I still need you to do this end part, so thank you.
Well, we'll keep that in mind. So you can't get rid of me just yet. You have to keep me around so we can do the end part.
Fine.
And then you can just do the rest of the podcast.
And so we can hear about you eating bonbons lying on the sofa after your surgery.
No, bonbons. That's what we call our dog.
Oh, okay. Of course. Then don't do that.
No, I'm not going to eat bonbon. Yeah. Anyway, guys, leave us some comments. Give us some love. We love all the interaction that we've been getting on our social media networks on YouTube and Facebook.
Yes.
I think you've seen some of the conversations between Bill and ourselves and the new Potty Pod, trying to figure out exactly what we need. I think he found one that was perfect for us. You saw that, John, right? The RV that was sitting in the woods, kind of falling apart. And I said, "Hey, let's tack on that portable shitter."
Semi-based one.
Do what?
I preferred the massive semi-truck.
I did like that one too. I thought, but I think that might just be barely outside of our price range, just a little bit.
Whatever. I think you need to let go of some of your millions that you have set aside for RVing.
My millions and millions of pennies. Half pennies at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Broham. Thanks for the time. Thanks everybody for
likewise.
Listening. As always,
we love you, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
We do. See ya.